Two Queers in a Truck. And I'm Billy James Gunn, and my sidekick, Christian Cano, partner in crime, is coming up next.
Hey everyone, I'm Jim's sidekick. Welcome to Two Queers in a Truck. Hi y'all.
See you soon.
Good morning, everybody. It is Two Queers in a Truck time, and it's July 8th. So we survived theoretically, we survived the 4th of July weekend and the Great American Trailer Park Trash American 250th Embarrassment Birthday Party Celebration / Republican Gay Pride. And
That's right.
it's a never-ending saga with these people. And for people that sure claim to hate gay people, they sure do a lot of things that mimic what we do.
You're obsessed.
With other obsessed with us, but you know, Pride Month is over. But their continued obsession with us, and the reason I'm bringing it up is James Talrico, running for U.S. Senate against the known criminal and philanderer, dirty cheater, Ken Paxton. And Talrico is having a tremendous amount of success in the polls, to the point where he's scoring in categories of people that normally Republicans dominate in Texas. So-called independents, 69% of independents in Texas are supporting James. Almost 80% of the Hispanic Latinx voters polling strong in the suburbs. He just had a rally this week, well, technically last week, in Ken Paxton's home county, in an arena that probably held, it was packed. It was a packed house. It was a huge room. It pulled more people than Trump's birthday party. And it was a packed friggin' house right in the very white Christian nationalist suburbs of Dallas. And it was a room mostly full of white people. And not the typical voter that would show up for a Democrat candidate in that part of Texas. This guy is scoring with the kind of voters that typically vote Republican and Republican leaning, even if they're not registered Republicans. They're showing up for James. And one of the reasons I think it's a big deal, and especially for our queer listeners, they've made two LGBT accusations of James. One, that he's a gay man. He has to be a gay man because he's 37, he's not married. You know, despite that he's had a relationship for years with this model.
He's educated and he's decent and he's just like a good person, so he must be gay.
Yeah, he has to be gay in their mind. You know, like he eats eggs after 12 o'clock. He has to eat gay eggs. Like he the logic is almost something from like a sitcom from like Ted.
Exactly.
Is you know, he's got to be up having sex with men all night. That's why he is the way he is. You know, and that he's also a trans man, which is tacitly not true. He's always lived as a male. He was born a male. He was assigned male at birth. Because here's the truth. He's everything Republicans claim to be: a devout Christian, a good person, He doesn't have any scandals whatsoever. He lives his life he lives his life like a conservative, but a conservative by the way he lives. He lives modestly. He doesn't have any vitamins to sell you. He doesn't live a flamboyant life. He goes to work. He comes home. He doesn't flaunt his popularity. He doesn't have any arrogance to him. In a lot of ways, he's very similar to Mandami. Two very progressive, devout men. One's Muslim, one's Christian. But Talrico is the white, Hispanic, Texas version of Mandami in many ways. Both very accepting, very open-minded men, very, very progressive. Talrico is a very progressive Christian. About as progressive as I've ever seen and still be religious. This guy can quote a Bible verse and still go to gay pride and hug people and not flinch an eye, or be around Muslims, or be around new arrivals or people of color. Like, it doesn't matter to him. He lives life according to Jesus' rules, which is love thy neighbor. He's the ultimate representative of what a Christian should be, or the words of the New Testament he lives by, which is it's a nice and refreshing thing to see. And him not be a fucking piece of shit like Paxton, because Paxton claims the same things that Talrico does, but Paxton doesn't live that way. His wife left him and is divorcing him because he's a dirty cheater. He's a fucking he's had church scams. He's had business scams. This guy's been indicted more times than Trump. This guy, he seized medical records for transgender people all over the country. For what reason? Why does an attorney general need the medical records of a trans person in New York? The attorney general of Texas, Ken Paxton, that's running for Senate now, seized medical records of trans people and sued states that wouldn't comply. For what reason? What possible reason would an attorney general in Texas, I'll keep repeating this till somebody fucking answers it, why does an attorney general need to compile a hit list of transgender people all over the fucking country? We're up against our first break, and we'll be right back with some more Two Queers in a Truck after this.
Hey, everybody, you can catch us on your favorite audio podcast platform, Spotify, and all Apple Store, the Google machine, and whoever else does podcasts. We're on there. We broke in, and we're staying. So enjoy the Two Queers in a Truck on your favorite audio podcast platform. Thanks for listening or watching. Bye-bye. Happy pod.
Hi, this is Yoran Pascual Mateo. I am back. Spedicare is back in 2026, and yes, my hiatus was sad, and it was caused by a bunch of, butthurt losers. But I'm not gonna say that. Don't worry, I'm here. I'm gonna be annoying. I'm gonna say fuck fascism, and I'm gonna stand up against this shit. So please like, subscribe, enjoy my show, and let's fight against the bullshit that we continue to live with.
Hey y'all, thanks for listening to Two Queers in a Truck. And we do broadcast on YouTube and Facebook in a video version. And we're also on all the audio platforms out there. So your favorite way to listen to your podcast. We've been doing this for a couple years, and we appreciate y'all listening. We know you have a ton of choices, even though we may be the best choice. We always appreciate our listeners, and we'll try to bring you quality in the future. Thanks for listening. As always, Christian and Jenny, we're out. Thank y'all. And we are back. That should stick with him. This should be an ad run by a nonprofit political group in Texas. Why does an attorney general of Texas only need the medical records of transgender people all around the country? Give me a reason why 49 states of transgender people are getting their medical, HIPAA protected medical records seized by this guy. And he's running for Senate. And don't tell me, well, it's because transgender people really aren't valid. Because once you open that Pandora's box, will you do it with gay men? Will you do it with divorced women, single moms? Where does that stop? Where does that slippery slope of people violating our protected medical information, where does that fucking stop? And what does that lead to? Is that information that will be used to justify to send us to the gulags and concentration camps? Oh, you're one of those. Okay. You used medical marijuana. Well, we got to send you to prison for that because now it's not legal. And now we know you used it. Where does the invasion of our medical records, including all of our prescriptions we've been on in the past, all that, where does that stop? Who gets singled out in this? Because how many medical procedures have Republicans gone after in the last 10 or 20 years? Or medicines? There for a while, they were going after people, saying that people shouldn't be on, mental health medications and antidepressants and stuff like that. Where does it stop? Where does it stop, in which categories, and who will they selectively target with this information? The reason why we have HIPAA is for this reason. Is so that our medical history isn't used against us. Oh, you're on HIV medication. Oh, we're just going to go ahead and send you to a prison to where we isolate you so you can't spread HIV. Where does it stop? Oh, you've had this. You've had that. You've had an STD or an STI, or we can just go down the list. You had an abortion. Like that's murder in our eyes. Where you're going to jail for a murder in a work camp, and they just make us a slave of the state in these prison camps. Where does it stop? Where does it stop? For people that got citizenship after they arrived here, does it invalidate their citizenship because we violated the law? Like where does it stop? And because they're in a mad scramble to invalidate people so they can do what they want to them. That's the whole idea of this MAGA group, is to control what people do and have a say on what people do in their personal lives, even the legal stuff, especially the legal stuff, and twist the law. You got a sitting Supreme Court Justice in Clarence Thomas that says the 14th Amendment is obsolete and should be deleted. Now, this is part of freeing the slaves. The people he's descended from, saying the 14th Amendment doesn't apply anymore. The ultimate in hypocrisy. A sitting Supreme Court Justice is saying the 14th. Now, when they passed the Second Amendment, we were using muskets and bayonets. So if the 14th Amendment, which was after the Second Amendment was created, because the 14th Amendment was created in the 19th century, and the Second Amendment in the Bill of Rights was created in the previous century. If the 14th is invalid, shouldn't the Second Amendment be invalid? Because it was based on the technology of single-shot guns and rifles. Like they were using like fucking flintlocks. Like you'd load, have to shuffle the pack at the back end, the bearing end, and then it was a very tedious warfare. The reason it was so bloody and gruesome and hand to hand is because by the time you pack the second musket shot in there, your enemy had already charged you, or you had already started. They called for you to charge. Because it was those days where they just lined up to the beat of a drummer, and then they fucking shot each other like idiots, and then chased after each other with bayonets on the end of their rifles. And it was gruesome, hand-to-hand, ugly warfare. It is at its worst. But anyway, that's what the Second Amendment was based on. It wasn't based on Glocks and fucking semi-automatic, AR-15s and all that. That wasn't even conceivable then. I mean, the Gatling gun didn't even exist. This is stuff that there was no tanks, there was no hand grenades, there was nothing like this. There was no jet fighters. Airplanes didn't even exist when the Second Amendment was written. So again, we either selectively apply the Constitution, or we restore the Constitution to its full meaning and go by the letter of how it's written. And we right-size the importance of the Second Amendment in our lives. We are up against our second break, and we'll be right back with some more Two Queers in a Truck right after this.
Hey y'all, this is Jetty with Two Queers in a Truck, and Christian's along with me, and we're just having fun, and we're looking forward to the 2025 season, and super excited. We have some neat things going on in our whole family of shows, including Coffee and Pan Dulce, and many new shows that are brewing. Get it, and we are excited for 2025 and all the chicanery and other things that comes with it. So happy New Year, and we'll see you on the flip side. Bye y'all.
Bye y'all. Bye boo.
Bye boo.
Coffee and Pan Dulce. How's that? Coffee and Pan Dulce.
Sounds
You
great.
sounded like a telenova. I mean,
That's what I'm trying this. I'm trying to. All I have to say is go. Yes.
as a
right.
non-Spanish speaker.
All right, let's talk about his Jesus Jesus meme. You know what I'm talking about? Okay,
Yeah.
that'll be the show. All right, here we go. Okay, so we'll just take this last commercial, and then we'll come back. All right, here we go.
And this is the Jenny Award.
And this is the Pendejo Chronicles. Coffee and Pan Dulce. How's that? Coffee and Pan Dulce.
And we are back. I saw an interesting debate, and I'm going to come off that for a bit. And it was actually queers kind of going after queers. And there was this old Queenie guy. This was on Facebook. And in fact, he was ranting about something that wasn't even part of the article. Because he was an all white man that thinks he knows everything, and because he has lived experience, he's an expert on queerness now. In fact, he was bitching about the word queer. He says it's a slur. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like any talk about pronouns. He says talking about pronouns is ridiculous, which probably means he's transphobic. And he was just bitching about the younger gays and just they don't know nothing, blah blah blah. And I interjected in. I said, you sound like an old bitter queen, because he was super bitter. Like he was bitter than army coffee. Like it was just he's pissed off because he's old and he's been left behind and he's obsolete. He's not up to modern thinking.
There's an older gay guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those guys are usually the worst.
Yeah, yeah,
It's one of those guys that,
yeah.
things have changed. I don't like it because it's not my generation's thing. And most of all, you're not licking my boots because I was been there, done that. And I pointed out to him, I said, yeah, gay civil rights, like marriage equality and stuff like that, was fought for by our generation. Because he was like an older Gen X or maybe a real young baby boomer. He looked about our age. He looked like he was like in his 50s or 60s. And I said, you're mad because the younger generations are enjoying the fruits of our labor. But isn't that what we were doing that for? Wasn't there a time in the 80s and 90s, and we all said it at some time when we were a young queer too. We all said, we want this to be more idyllic and have the same rights as everybody else. And we can't wait for that day. Because I never thought I'd live long enough to see marriage equality. Yet now it's over 10 years old. We both did that. I know you said that at some time too in your life.
Yeah.
And now that we're almost there, we've got mainstream acceptance in television and movies, and there's mainstream movies about queer people. And, the world's a little, 70 to 80% of the population, other than the MAGAs, are cool with us. And we can go in most places and not worry about being judged on who we are or being gay bashed or, murdered most of the time. The world's a lot better place for queer people right now than it was 40 or 50 years ago, or even 30 years ago, when Ellen was afraid to come out on TV, when we all knew she was a lesbian. Like, you look at her and go, there's no way she's straight. Or, Rock Hudson or Liberace. Well, everybody knew there was no way around that. But anyway, this guy's mad that they're enjoying the fruits of our labor. Yet that's what we did it for. So the next generations don't have to fight that same fight. And I pointed out to him, I said, in this century, they're having to worry about more existential stuff. Like the dying planet that we live on, with the Arctic Circle getting up to 100 degrees this week. Or the fact that the United States is a dying empire. They're just going away. We're dying. We've lost world power status. We lost a war to Iran. Do you think we've slipped a few notches? We're the laughing stock, and we're about to go through the worst Great Depression we've had in 100 years. I'm just telling you, it's coming. This country is set up because it's so top heavy, and there's so many program cuts to domestic spending. This country is collapsing under its own weight, whether people believe it or not. It's collapsing all around us. And in a few oases in the United States, it's probably not going to be as bad. But there's parts of the United States, like Texas and all the red states, they're burning down so fast. I don't think people realize how bad Texas is collapsing. And its model is failed. And the United States is supplement. California is supplement mistakes these other states are making. And California is about to stop sending money to the federal government. Of course, I can see the next governor and the next assembly and next year passing a bill to stop funding broke states because they refuse to tax wealthy people. They're not carrying their weight, and they're billions and tens of billions in debt. That's what these young people are dealing with. These people have no chance of buying a house. They're going to rent the rest of their life. They have no chance. The average age of the home buyer now has gone up 20 years. It used to be like late 20s, early 30s. The median age of a first-time home buyer now is almost 50. And there's more listings for homes than there are sold homes the last 2 years running. There's more people leaving the country than coming into the country. The United States used to be the place where people would want to spend the rest of their life. Now the American dream is to move to Portugal, Spain, or actually Mexico. So far this year, this is just through like May, 180,000 people, American citizens, have moved abroad. Close to 1 million last year. It is the largest migration out of this country with American citizens, again, in over 100 years. Guys, the oars are being pulled in because the ship's afire. And young people don't have it better than we did. There's just a different struggle. Instead of struggling for civil rights as much, they're facing existential threats that are bigger than themselves. They're bigger than everybody they know. The Armageddon of the United States, the Armageddon of the fucking planet. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to be young right now. There was a lot of things wrong with the country in the 70s and 80s, but I'm going to tell you what, I never thought the planet would burn down around me, and I never thought this country, because I was around and Christian was around during the 200th anniversary of the birth of our nation. I remember the 1976 bicentennial. And I'm going to tell you what, for the most part, this country was a better place then than it is now. Because these MAGA cheese dick fucksticks have burnt this motherfucker to the ground. And the climate deniers are the biggest piece of shits and mass murderers ever. They put Hitler to shame. And that's what I told this guy. I said, I don't think the young people got it easier. They can't afford to live with 4 people to a house. I'm glad I don't have their problems. I'm glad I have age and experience to deal with this and survive. 28-year-olds don't have the lived experience to handle this. I barely do, and I'm over a half century old. So when old gays say, well, your life's good because of me, you also are part of burning the planet down. You're part of the generation that voted for Trump. Well, you're a white man close to the 60s, more than likely you voted for Trump. The odds are against him voting for Harris. In fact, I think only about 35% of those men voted for Harris nationally. So yes, you solved some problems. Congratulations. But our generation, Gen X and baby boomers, created a lot more problems. We created George W. Bush. We created Trump. It's our fault. Most of the newscasters, the main ones that on Fox that pimped Trump for all this while and carried all this water for him, are Gen Xers. Our Gen X generation very much pimped out the nation so that a fascist shitbag like Trump can be president. So, Gen X and baby boomers especially, congratulations. You did a lot, but you also damaged a lot. And we've got to take responsibility for that and be part of the solution going forward, and not get mad or jealous or bitter that some things are better for the young. I want a better world for my kids. The millennials and baby Zs are my kids' age. And we all got nieces and nephews and young people that we know. Don't we want a better world for them? Because if they get a better world, guess what? Our world improves. They don't live in a fucking silo. We live in the same society together. And this is the most important point of everything I'm going to say on this show today. Nobody lives in a vacuum. The reason why mythological Jesus said, love thy neighbor, is because he needed to finish the sentence. Because you're all in the same fucking boat, guys. We all fish in the same pond. We all breathe the same air. We don't have special Republican air and special Democrat air or special independent air. We all drink the same water. We all pray together. We all eat together. We're all in it together, no matter what. We don't have to like each other. It's not the fucking prom. We're not each other's prom date. But we do have to coexist, preferably peaceably and constructively. And that is the salient point of James Talrico, because he says that in every one of his speeches. Love thy neighbor. And I wish Christians would finish this sentence by saying, because we're all in it together no matter what. We're all God's children. And I don't believe in God. But we're all, as we celebrate America this month, we all have to remember why we started this country 250 years ago. This is to turn away from a king and build a society for ourselves and for each other. That's what needs to end the sentence, is for each other. That's the whole point of living in a city. It's the whole point of living in a society together. And going forward, that's the birthday promise we made 250 years ago. And no matter what social issues we vote for, what candidates promise, we all have to remember that people like Mandami in New York hasn't hand-selected parts of New York that he wants to improve because they primarily voted for him. He's fixing up all of New York. He's helping all of New York. It doesn't matter who you are. Some of his best partners in crime are AOC, which is a Christian, and I can't remember the other guy's name, that's a Jewish man. He don't care what religion you are or what your skin color is. He's brought the murder rate down to a record low. He's fixed every pothole in that city, and he's slowly closing Rikers Island. He's restoring dignity to a city that lost their dignity a long time ago. Basically, love thy neighbor. That's all I have this week. Happy birthday, America. Let's do better. Bye, y'all. Bye, dude. Hey, y'all. Thanks for watching. And happy July and happy birthday, America. Big 250. And be safe out there. It's summertime in a lot of parts of the country and pretty hot weather when the Arctic Circle is 100 degrees. But have fun. Be safe. Drink water. Wear a hat. And don't vote for fascists. Appreciate y'all. And Christian does too. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Hi, everybody. This is Yorense from the Americo Show over here. All I'm here is doing a little quick PSA. Use this summer to do volunteer work. Go to your nearest YMCA. Go to your nearest homeless shelter. Go to whatever community services or programs that you can help out and volunteer. Because right now, we have a bunch of fascist pieces of shit trying to rip apart our country and rip apart the people, our communities, by spreading hate and bigotry. The best way to combat it is, one, working in your community and standing strong to show that you are strong and you're here to help out others. Two, combat misinformation. If you hear bullshit, first research and make sure if it's true or not. If it is not true, call it out. If it is true, get the facts. be knowledgeable of it because it might come out later. So always stand against that. And 3, fuck fascists. Stand against them. Make them feel uncomfortable. There is too many people out there feeling like they can say the hard R or say slurs or be violent. Make them understand that a lot of people die to make sure this hatred and bigotry does not exist. All our civil rights workers, all the people who restored normandy, everybody who fought against intolerance and hatred, they died and worked their asses off to stop this. So follow in their footsteps and stop this madness. This is Yorense again from Americo, and all I can say is be there for your community and stand up for what's right. Fuck fascism and have a wonderful day.
All right, we'll just come back for about 2 minutes, and then we'll take our last break, and then we'll end the show.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay, we'll come back for just a couple of minutes, and we'll end. Here we go. Good job. Great intro. All right, come back, talk about Epstein.
Okay. Epstein.
I'm gonna start recording. Good job, y'all. All right, we're at the 18-minute mark. Tony, the second half, do you want to switch it to more national conversations? Because you were talking about Charlotte, or do you want to stay on Charlotte? Or edited. And once again, I know your time is valuable.
What is language like? I have a potty mouth, so let me know. Are y'all?
We don't. We don't mind. Is that right, Gersemi?
Yeah, no, I mean,
I'll try to refrain since it's the Christmas season.
Exactly.
All right. By the way, I just want you to know this is the earliest interview I've ever done in my life.
Oh my goodness.
And this is the Jenny Award.
I'm quite honored to have a conversation with Jojo Garza. He's with the Grammy Award-winning Los Lonely Boys, and actually, I believe you're in San Angelo, Texas. Is that correct?
Yeah, man, I'm here at home right now.
Well, welcome to Que Pasa, Mr. Garza. Listen, I have to admit that I grew up in Texas. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, a native Texan, and Tejano, I guess that's what I grew up calling myself. And there was always this confusion. Is San Angelo Central Texas or is it West Texas?
Well, you're right about that. There's always like a bit of confusion about it.
And this is the Pendejo Chronicles.